Tanya, how we doing? We lost her. Oh, she's still there.
Sure. Okay. So since we're meeting in this teleconferencing format and no longer able to see people face to face, we have some different things set up. As far as right now, this meeting is being recorded. It will be put up on the auburn.maine.gov website. So people can access it through Great Falls TV. It's also streaming on our YouTube channel. And when public participation comes, we will share a telephone number for anyone who's watching the live stream. We'll be sharing a telephone number that Katie has access to answer. And so that's how we're sort of encouraging public participation. You can also email any of your school committee members as well.
Okay, so we'll get started. So I'm going to review the revenue, and we've made adjustments based on the feedback from City Council on Monday night. So we're just going to go through this one more time. Adam and I are together and practicing social distancing. He is more than 6 feet away from me, but good for the two of us to be in the room together to answer questions or come up with data that you may ask for. So just to review, the top here is the state revenue is in blue. So you can see that. And that's where we were up $365,418 in state subsidy for a total of $26,217,074. And then as you go in to the blue, you see the local increase at $18,633,862. So that's increased $927,005. Then as we go down below, you can see the revenue sources that we're using to offset expenditures. And you can see that we have $1 million for fund balance. What was shown to City Council was 1.2 million there, and we're going to explain why that has gone to 1 million later with our reduction list. So we're holding that at 1 million, and then you can see everything put together. So I'm sliding down now. So you can see the fund balance at 1 million, the state at 26 million, the local at 18 million, the other at 618,000. For a total of $46,771,844, which means the budget has increased $1,434,407, which the impact on the mill rate is 48 cents, and a home that would be assessed at 150,000 would be $72.06 annually. So that's kind of going over the revenue again, putting in place what City Council directed on Monday night. I don't see any chats going up, so I'm going to keep moving. So part of what we've been working on and reviewed with administrative team again today, we went over it last week, we went over it again today to make any further adjustments. So what I'm going to show you now, and I've got to adjust my screen. So hold on. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the list, and I'm starting with, this is in order from the bottom of the list is the priority to the top. So the least prioritized to the bottom, if that makes sense. So if you were going to put things back in the non-positions, we would start at line number 19, reduce subpay across budget. Okay. So, but we're going to start at the top. We would reduce the security filter and the EL world language textbooks. Those both feel, Shelley, some of it's being addressed this spring. And so those items can come out. We had the capital improvement plan. We were hoping to possibly bring someone in to put a plan together for us. We work with our person, as you know, we work with Mel Cole, who's an engineer and has been with us for many years. He's the one who helps put the CIP list together. This would be an added layer to that support. We moved the van to the capital improvement at $25,000. The budget, no increase for electricity. So Adam checked in with our electrical middle person who did our solar proposal together and said, would we expect savings in FY21? And they assure us they will, that we will see savings in FY21 due to one of the vendors is the hydro plant. So so we're going to flat fund the electricity. So we're putting a savings there. You will see that we are removing, what we're going to do is for the buses to come in, so that $174,000 to come in. And I know, Pam, you've been busy. Pam's been busy identifying those lines that Adam is busy identifying as well. Where will we have savings because of the shutdown? And so we believe that we can purchase $174,000 worth of equipment and supplies this spring due to our closure. And that would allow us to bring the school buses into the general fund. So now this is a risk as well. So I want to be clear on this. When you take stuff out now for next year you'll be putting stuff back in. So next year, yes, we're paying for all this now, but next year you're going to need to put stuff in for the same items and you won't have that luxury of buying things ahead. So in order to put the buses in, we're going to be looking at lines to buy things now. Now, there are some things that cannot be bought now. They don't allow you to buy certain things. You can't pay people now. You can't pay contracts that start July 1st now. But we can get equipment, copiers, projectors, furniture. So we're looking at all items that we think we can do now or that we know we can and start purchasing those items. We've eliminated the stipend for the literacy math instructor for UMF course. That was $5,000. That we feel comfortable with because sometimes it's hard to get enrollment there. So we would rather have it savings to have things stay in place that we know we can benefit from. Winter JV cheering stipend, there were two in the budget. One was moved to volleyball, and this is the other JV cheering stipend. We have removed AMS football and AMS lacrosse. The rec department had asked for us to take on these and we have put those back to the rec. We looked at Newsella and really looked at where is the biggest use right now, and that's at Auburn Middle School at EL. So we reduced that budget so that it still can be used by those teachers and eliminated the elementary teachers using it. Our BCBA position, that's the position where the person helps with behavior plans, part of our RTI process for students struggling with behaviors.
Can I ask a question, Katie? I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
You're saying that the AMS football edition was $12,207, but when I look at the budget, it said $8,948.
Right, but it includes everything. It's the equipment, the coaches, the refs. It's everything. So you're going to see parts of it in different places.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're welcome. I know it's hard because things don't go in a bundle. So I see. Yeah, it's a challenge. I looked over because your picture's showing up on my screen. So when I talked to Sue Doris today about the title grant, because the reason the special ed lines are up is not because we have an abundance of more special ed students. Just remember, that we calculate tuition based on attendance. So we get rates for daily attendance, and we calculate that, and we've been doing it at 82% attendance. We had put in the budget 90% attendance, and so we have backed that down to 85% attendance, recognizing that we may or may not have enough funding to meet that. So you may still be in the red at the end of next year in this line. We'll have to watch that, and that's part of the Finance Committee's work. We reduced the seed by 5%. That's that seed money that helps pay for main care reimbursement. We've asked building principals will go back to their budgets and reduce 5% of their budget. And that's their working with their staff to identify what could they reduce. Reduce the tutor line by half. That tutor line, although it only said that we expended $78 so far, you have to have money in case a regular ed student needs tutor support. So if a student that does not receive special education needs some type of tutoring for various reasons, might be a homeless student that needs some extra support, that money is there in case we need to use it. So we will reduce it in half. Maybe we'll have a good year like we had this year, and maybe we won't. Those are things that we don't know, we can't predict. We also reduced the subpay needed. So what was raised in the subpay was to meet what we believe we would expend for subs. Of course, this year, because we have shut down, that will look different. And you're going to have to watch that as you do your budget next year. The numbers are not going to be, you're going to have a hard time comparing year to year. So we've reduced that as well. So that's the non-position items. Now moving to position items.
Katie, let's stop just for one second. There's
there are
two
questions for the top. Yes.
Yeah, the questions for the top. So Rose popped in and is wanting to make sure, or just questioning City Council supporting. We've got the buses in the general fund, but putting the vans into the SIP board. She's just wondering what their thoughts might be around that.
Well, I didn't hear much discussion on the van. I mean, the city often puts their vehicles in the CIP. You'll see that.
Okay.
What I heard a lot about the buses was the reimbursement is next year.
Yeah.
So
because we do not receive reimbursement for the van. We receive reimbursement for the bus, correct? Okay.
Correct.
And so I think when I remember the mayor talking about that, that sort of is, and I understand he has some tangles around it, but just wanting to keep it in our general fund. Okay. And then Rose also asked another question about how will the tutor work with extended closure? So Rose, if you want to pop on and talk about that question a little bit. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Rose, if you're asking, are we still paying our tutors? Yes, we are.
I'm sorry, my menu bar completely disappeared. I was just wondering if that tutor support could be, I don't know, taken up by somebody else, or if that money is going to roll over, or I'm not quite sure just because of the extended closures.
That tutor line, if we had a need for a regular